Salutations from all points of this shining triangle.
Whose hard lemonade seltzer is this? Looks so crisp and refreshing.
So there's like all these help guides to, pro tips and how to, and I'm here to teach you how to drugs, okay? This is a difficult subject. So I should probably get some help. Hold on. I am the snake that giveth knowledge and delight and bright glory, and stirreth the hearts of men and women with drunkenness. To worship me take wine and strange drugs, whereof I will tell my prophet, and be drunk thereof. They shall not harm ye at all. It is a lie, this folly against self. The exposure of innocence is a lie. Be strong, O man, lust, enjoy all things of sense and rapture. Fear not that any god shall deny thee for this. I am alone. There is no God where I am. Behold, these be grave mysteries, for there are also of my friends who be hermits. Now think not to find them in the forest or on the mountain, but in beds of purple, caressed by magnificent breasts of women, with large limbs and fire and light in their eyes, and masses of flaming hair about them. There ye shall find them. Ye shall see them at rule, at victorious armies, at all the joy. And there shall be in them a joy a million times greater than this. Beware, lest any force another, king against king, love one another with burning hearts, on the low trample in the fierce lust of your pride, in the day of your wrath. Ye are against the people, my chosen. I am the secret soil coiled about to spring. In my coiling there is joy. If I lift up my head, I and my nuit are one. If I droop down my head and shoot forth venom, then is the rapture of the earth, and I and the earth are one. There is great danger in me, for who doth not understand these runes shall make a great miss. He shall fall down into the pit called Because, and there he shall perish with the dogs of reason. Now a curse upon his Because and his kin. May Because be accursed forever. If will stops and cries why, invoking Because, then will stops and does not. If power asks why, then power is weakness. Also reason is a lie, for there is a factor infinite and unknown, and all their words are skew lies. Enough of Because, be ye damned for a dog. But ye, O my people, rise up and awake. Let the rituals be rightly performed with joy and beauty. There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times. A feast for the night of the prophet and his bride. A feast for the 3 days of the writing of the book of the law. A feast for Tahiti and the child of the prophet. Secret, O prophet. A feast for the supreme ritual. And a feast for the equinox of the gods. A feast for fire and a feast for water. A feast for life and a greater feast for death. A feast every day in your hearts in the joy of my rapture. A feast every night unto new, and the pleasure uttermost delight. Feast, rejoice, there is no dread hereafter. There is dissolution and eternal ecstasy in the kisses of new. Trust in me and fall as well, but I will find the center in you, and I will chew it up and leave. Trust me. There's like a buzzing monitor. Yeah, so once I was tripping, I could hear them talking in the background, and a whole conversation started in the room with me and, the band backstage. I don't know how else to say it. It's caught in the undertow for a long time, boys. Boys, 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 and girls. And you know what I've come to learn? I want what I want. And this brings me great suffering. All this desire for wanting of things. And it comes back around. How does one remedy this situation we find ourselves in? Remedy. like there's a problem. You feel as if there's a problem, right? Is this why you do this? Or you do this why? Why you do this? Why do you want it? What do you want? Can I ask you that before we get too far into this? This automated piece of shit talking over me. Never gonna work. Okay. Fuck, man. Okay. Fuck. I think my shit cut off. Let me check where it was. When I was reading the other night, it cut off at the beginning of initiation, I think. Which that's what this is mainly about. The drugs you do, you're okay. You know how like did you ever hear of Lucifer being the prison guard of heaven rather, that he's not actually an adversary to God as much as he is the judging aspect of deity. He's the one who would be tasked with judging whether or not someone followed the law God set forth and the punishment that is required, as in designing punishment for God. Which is why humans are often linked or associated with Luciferian experiments or talk, because this is a polishing stage. This is a trial and error section. Oh shit! Oh, you're sitting on it. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I need to look at this for a second. Oh. The keys to the universe to come. Wait. The keys to the universe to come tell us, beware of the abomination of desolation, which is found wherever the sacred scriptures of light are held, in disrespect before the assembly gathered in the name of the living God. The abomination of desolation is the stele of revealing. Wow. It's what Crowley called, in the Book of the Law, this is referred to as the desolation, the abomination of desolation, or something. What I just read from is this, the Keys of Enoch, or whatever. You see, like I was saying before, what you're involved in is a co-creation. Okay, at best, the beginning, your fucking only job is to witness. Okay, really. At best, I mean, like, if you can witness properly, props to you, because most don't even get to see clearly. Most don't have eyes to see or ears to hear. So if you can get down witnessing your life, that's a fucking plus. Now, how do we do this? Well, you are doing it. Just like, how do I get enlightened? You are enlightened. How do I get what I want? You have what you want. The problem is satisfaction. Right? Rolling Stones, I can't get no satisfaction. whatever the fuck he was babbling about. This is the deal. The whole selling our souls to the devil to get what we want, get it right away. What good is it, right? Because too many parables on top of each other. Okay. Drugs alter your consciousness so that you can see what your consciousness is. In its altered state, you can triangulate the position you came from. Your ups and downs are alluding to a position that you're going up and down from. Lateral, even. So, if we're constantly feeling lateral to us, how do we realign? Right? That's the deal. Okay? And if you're doing drugs, that's what this is all about. What you do is you do them properly. Like, waste is a thief, cousin. It's like, where do we go? I'm torn between how to go about this, you see, because I'm actually working on getting sober, you see, which is why I'm only now making these videos talking about this type of shit. Because it's easy to say, oh man, fucking, I see the world as like, we are all one, man. And it's like really? You feel that connection? Like, yeah, like all the time, man. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, man, I eat like a microdose of mushrooms every day. But that really makes me feel connected to the planet. Right? So this is the deal. Do it. Just know what you're doing. Just know you're using a key to open a door. Like, which is, okay, that's a bad analogy, because everybody uses keys for doors, and that's fine. And it is fine. Everybody can use a door. But like, you're relying on the electrical power of an automated door to open when you could open the door physically with any drug. What they're doing is having a reaction within your brain and causing your body to do things your body does. The drug is not making you do something you cannot do. Your body cannot do something it can't do. That's silly. The alien feeling is the drug. And especially with mushrooms, at least with me, and I think a lot of people have reported that you feel like there's a superior consciousness of some type communicating with you. And people don't often feel this on, like, acid, for instance. But that's never been the case for me. Like, LSD is where I was most Lucifer, or whatever the fuck I was. Like, okay, we used to have these trips, and it's like, basically, like my automated writing that I would do while on opiates, I feel like I'm channeling archetypes in my subconscious. Taking acid and being with the right, not me just eating acid. Okay, here's what happens, I think. Well, I don't know. Sometimes it would feel like the backstage thing. Like I was saying, like the lights brighten and it's like they call cut or something. And the lights change. And this one time, my friend was sitting there and we were talking about all kinds of shit. And he was sitting on the couch and his arm just went up like this. And just did this fucking weird wave thing. But I mean, his shoulder was like behind his head. And it was like this part of a song. We always are listening to music. That's why I have music playing now, because whatever. Not because. So yeah, what am I even talking about? I'm talking about because shit. Sorry. See, the brakes. This is why Crowley used to cut himself, because you slip so far in just the moment when you have it. It's like, that's why you have to write down. This is what I'm talking about witnessing. Like, you are not the things you see, feel, hear. You are witnessing them. And at best, like, your job is to capture them and use them. Like, you're going... If you don't feel like you're creating anything in your life, I'm here to tell you, you are helping, okay? This is why the agency. We are the agency, okay? I am many, we are one. There is no part of this planet I have not conquered and am not a part of. I made it to play in. This is the game I'm playing, right? Whatever. So, the top of the top is still I working through people, just like I'm working through this cat Travis right now. Oh, look at this. I just found this just sitting here. Abashed at the thought of people still clinging to the IDGs, idea gods of the war on drugs. What devils these ideas must be to perpetuate such a narrow-minded thinking. Titanic centuries of control and deception. It's our duty to keep these IDGs where they belong. And that would be in the actual reforming and writing of the new laws. Give them dominion, but bind them to the universal will, where a prison state is a severe manifestation of control and the weighing of right and wrong in the justice system. Balance is needed, but the prisons are going to have to be transformed into large rehabilitation, actual rehabs, where the goal is to help people grow from ignorance into a state of conscious awareness, a very real awareness of self and how you are a part of the world, not stuck in it. There is work to be done, and so boredom is an invention of the Clipith Archons, an emotionally charged feeling created by the princes of hell and cast onto creation along with other variants of cosmic ignorance. We are co-creators of reality, and every time we succumb to these reckless, dark desires, we give them a greater foothold in our world. Likewise, if we come to the realization of life as initiation slash participation rather than a death sentence, the beauty in creation becomes more apparent. So how then can we solve this dilemma we find ourselves at this crossroad? The very idea of a war on drugs brings about too many negative connotations. For in war, men are forced often to do horrible things. We should not confuse the struggle we face with drugs in this way. It allows people to have justifications for doing horrible things in the name of the war on drugs. Mandatory minimum sentences, privately owned prisons, the underground markets and cartels, gangs built upon selling crack, dirty cops, corrupt judges, racists on all sides, creating a culture war. Disease, poverty, black on black violence that culled a generation of men, etc., etc. The war on drugs has no winner, but the truth about drugs can help us all if we must fight a war, then it shall be a war on ignorance, a war on shame, a war on poverty and disease, a war on mental health. But we don't need to fight. We simply need to learn, understand, listen, grow, then apply, teach, build, grow. The energy we collectively spend worrying, bitching, watching, ignoring even, all that time and energy could be spent doing, writing, singing,
helping your community in small ways, like picking up trash, working as a volunteer to walk dogs, stay with a little brother or sister, etc. The point is, if we work together, we can help tackle seemingly huge problems. We simply must work towards a goal together. Simple sounding, but getting people on the same page about a hot button topic is often the hardest part. Yet we are not seeking totalitarian control of people's minds. If they do not want to do drugs, obviously they are not targets for indoctrination. What we seek is the world where you are not a criminal if you use drugs. You may be sick, or you may be healthy and use certain drugs as enhancers. But we lost that page. Yeah, see, this is something I've been wanting to present, I guess, for a long time. But like I said, as an addict in the eyes of society, it's not a position where people listen. So, the idea now, well, it always has been, is to go down as far as I could, gather as many of them, people, get them on my side, let them understand, help me understand them. I mean, I was born into this. It's not like I decided in some life to go. I decided to stay. It's hard to understand, but at certain times in your life, you're given a choice. Like, you just normally just do things. It's what you do. Don't worry about it. Everything's alright in your life. But sometimes we do things because we are compelled to just keep fucking up. And then we know we're doing something that is inhibiting our life. That is when addiction is a problem. Yeah, I lost that fucking page. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to myself. Sorry to you too, but I have too many fucking loose papers. I'm trying to get a computer to avoid this shit, but that's another reason why I'm trying to record this shit, because at least then I can refer to this without going through fucking page after page. This fucking madness. And folders, not even in notebooks all the time. But, it comes on fast. Same as always. This feeling in my chest and throat choking me. A positive quickly becomes a negative, and suddenly I find I've dug my own grave. Willingly falling for someone after everything, as if it's the pain that keeps you alive. Just because it's all you know doesn't mean pain is all there is to hope for. But here we go again. You, me, and a pen and paper. Teamwork makes the dream work, or some such drivel. How didn't I notice how lonely I've become? I remember being at peace, adrift alone at sea. Numerous islands and boats passed me by, but never have I yearned to be rescued from my isolation, and yet here I am now. Kill me now, end the suffering. Deliver me, O Lord, save me from myself, my heart, my only enemy. Release me, unshackle these chains. All I am's? All I am's, hear me. Yeah, okay, I get it. All I am's, hear me. I will not make it long. Time has worn me down, taken all I've had. We're lost now. See no way out, save for one. And she is missing, absent, gone. I am alone. There is no God where I am. Believe in me or set me to burn. Crucify all I am. Bury what remains beneath dirt and stone. I should say bury me in smoke. Whatever. That paper, I've dropped all my papers, and that fell out. I didn't want to read it. I didn't want to admit. I didn't know what it was. I wanted to read it. I clearly read it. But that thing at the beginning, it comes on fast. I write that a lot. That's like, take a drug. You might know what I'm talking about now. Because a lot of them do. Not when you take them necessarily, but the feeling when it hits. It's like, oh shit, here we go. Little by little, the world will see the way I do. And when that day finally comes, I will no longer be necessary for the survival of our kind. This gnosis has been nearly wiped out, calculatedly, piece by piece, disorganized, destroyed, recreated, and served as time. The unfolding events and the people who endure these triumphs and tragedies are who endure these triumphs and tragedies are the and it. See, like, sometimes you really gotta read this shit I write, like, are these and it. I can't see it. It's weird. Are the and it. Okay. Whatever. But we buy and sell, and this becomes that. And we get a real mess on our hands. Oh, okay. You fucking really should read Book of Lies by Aleister Crowley. Like, this is what these mirrors and all this is about. Is I can only tell you a lie of something, or an opposite of something, to reference the real thing. The more I try to say the thing itself out loud, in like a positive way, it falls apart, right? So, me telling you how to do drugs properly is, well, you can extrapolate the opposite of that, but I do drugs. I'm serious about, like, dude, I was taught how to smoke crack when I was like 15 or 16 by like this 30 or 40-year-old woman who was homeless, ended up living at my house because everybody lived at my house. We helped so many fucking disenfranchised people. Yeah. So my whole life after that, I was always really anal with people. I also grew up in Mifflin County, in Pennsylvania, which I know that doesn't mean anything to anyone, but I think you could maybe still Google this shit, and it's like an MSN report, or MSNBC, whatever the fuck it was back then. They did a report on Mifflin County, because they were building a new highway here as I was growing up, and it getting progressively better, and it's basically a pipeline, what part else now, that goes from Philly to Pittsburgh, which, I don't know if you know what Philly is popular for, but it's near the water, and basically, you can get whatever the fuck you want there, and you can move bundles of it across the state rather easily when you have a road built there. So, for the past 40 years, 20 to 30 years, there's been, not underground, but overt, there's task force, heroin task force, systematically set up throughout the state. And the way this goes is certain towns succumb to addiction, and then, I mean, it's all along Pennsylvania, there's addiction all along here. But basically, they made a video, a piece about it, where it's called Along Came a Pale Horse. Whatever. Along Came a Pale Horse, Mifflin County, Pennsylvania. It's bad enough that the heroin epidemic that you hear about now, this was back in 2002, and even then, I was part of like the 4th generation of people, because like every so many years, there would be big busts, new set of narcs, and shit would quiet down. And then it would repeat, people would get hooked on dope as kids got older, they'd learn, go to the city, flip the shit, it becomes a whole industry. But now, the ruler of Pennsylvania and most places, like, you think we fight for oil out in those countries? We fight for poppies, baby. But this is Subutex. I got on that. All my friends have been on it for years. I've taken it for years. I myself just got on it last year, the year before. No, just last year. This is now year 2, and I'm almost off of it. But there's been people I've known that's been on it for like over 10 years. I mean, it's just the most fucking. It's the weirdest drug I've ever taken. Like, not the way it makes you feel, necessarily. It's just so wrong. And especially the Narcon, that's fucking great that it saves lives, but the fact, I don't know. We're getting into weird stuff. Too many things. But we buy and sell, and this becomes that, and we got a real mess on our hands. Symbols must be archetypes first, and so symbols, they are not at all. Yeah, this is a bunch of gibberish. I have a bunch of stuff written on drugs. I don't need to read the shit I wrote while on drugs. But basically, I want to help people who do drugs understand why they do them and enjoy them while they do it, and get to the point where they no longer, maybe they don't want to anymore. Who knows? To each his own. I'm not here to preach about not doing. I'm here to preach about doing shit properly. Okay? It's like Tony Hawk watching people skateboard with like just shitty, with like no guards. They don't know what they're doing. They're going off of big half pipes. They're about ready to bust their fucking head open. It's like, it's not fun to watch, and actually it causes me distress to have to see this shit when I know. It's like when you see somebody and you know you can help them, and then you don't, and then you feel bad later, that type of feeling. You don't like it. It don't like it. Okay? It's fuck, you know? But that's what I'm here for, so let's do this, boys. Let's pedals. Hi, pedals. Yeah, there's a lot going on, Key, but I'm trying to find my papers. Kitty, it's like you know where they're at. Hey, oh, no. You're a fucking cat, I know. I'm gonna jump up there. I always want to get in my closet. I'll read this one. So this is about numbers. If you ever see 111, energy flow. Any energy flow, such as electricity, money, water. I'm not reading that. Over it. Floating in an ocean of forgetfulness. It's wide beyond measure and meaning. There are no islands to become shipwrecked, for then you would have a memory of forgetfulness. Now, that's another... Oh, yeah. Didn't I just find titles? So not cool, you guys. I found the thing I wrote at the chapel my first time there. I always really liked it. Oh, look, here's a thing for one of my videos. Entrance and prep. Set up video audio. Testing. Salutations from every point of the shining triangle. Oh, like I told myself to introduce myself to you guys. I don't ever do that. Idea God of the evening should be playing. Okay, this is how you should do videos, Travis, for future reference. Start with your entrance and prep. Set up your video and audio. Test it. Then, salutations from all point in the shining triangle. Your introduction of self, that's number 1. The first ones are 0, 0, 0, like 3 zeros, 2 zeros, 0. Then 1 is salutations from every point. 2 is introduction of self, topic, idea God of the evening should be plainly stated, which ours is drugs this evening. our overarching archetypes explored, which no doubt will lead to ramblings. See? And so it will become necessary to pause and separate and explore the meridinomes in depth, the sea of names. See, I probably made it sound the other way, but I can't say. Begin a foundation to build from. Reintroduce first the theme and be aware all ideas presented are to serve the original word. Okay, yeah, so drugs. Drugs are magical. And that means what? What does that mean, dude? What does magic even mean? Well, I think most of us have read definitions on that. By altering our reality willfully with intention and purpose, planning, creating a conjoined catalog of all the curious things we discover day-to-day lives. No, see, I must have just thrown it over. Some of these are torn out. Lament the death of my cock, sore and crucified, I seek to know you. I want to be your scars, cut deep a part of you. Carry me with you as a reminder. I want you to burn me, consume me in a blaze of glory. Inhale me, set all I am to burn. Breathe me in deep. Alone, branded and broken, bury me in smoke. Breathe me deep to soothe your lungs. Envelop me in fiery embrace. We mix properties, then rise together in ecstasy. Divided, wholly broken, are intoxicated by your presence. Sobered by alcohol, yet drunk with passion from the thought of you. See, this is all fucked up. I'm trying to read it. It's all got white out. I thought I just saw one that didn't. I want to swallow, smoke, snort, fucking shoot you. I am sick and in withdrawal without you. No opioid or narcotic can calm me. No hope in cocaine getting a rise from me. Of all I want to want, I want you above all else. I want to be the strange new taste you crave. Disgust you until you recognize my flavor and devour me again. I want to stay in your heart, mysterious and hidden away, but front and center in all you do. A voice in your head, reminding, I am a part of you. I want you to be my scars. Burn deep a part of me forever. I'll carry you as a reminder. There's always a feeling, then a flood of emotion follows, but I am with you. I want you to tear me apart, shed all to naught, gather and burn the pieces, then throw the ashes away. Spread me out across the horizon. Let the dust devils try to carry me away. I want to be your scars. Cut deep, take me with you. Yeah, that's all fucking hard to read. Coord-dimensionally defined, where are you it? Space-time, moving through time. Diversity of the multiverse via the flower of life. The many in the one. What is above is below, escaping our karmic wheel for a new. Vibrating brains and strings. Black brains, non-singularity type of black holes. Expanse. Portal ring that opens to a sphere of portals. Dude. See, I just have these notes and shit laying. I was probably watching a video on something and was like, yeah, this is gonna come up. I mean, I sort of know what it's talking about, But I mean, it's just so random of things here. But that's something you need to be aware of while you're high on drugs. The reason you feel like you're fucking far out flying through space is because, brother, you're far out flying through space. When drugs give you an actual heightened view of where you, like I was saying, the witness you can gain a peek into the higher yous. Like, okay, I am, like when I read I am the snake that giveth knowledge, and at the beginning, it's in that moment, I am the snake that giveth knowledge. The term I am, like Ehe, Asher, Ehe, I am that I am, like from the Bible. That's why I talk, like, the agency is a collective of the human race. I can't say it's all of them because they speak whatever. So the agency is a collective of us, eyes. The agency, like a tool army, an army of tools, I mean, used by the collective. No, by the single, yes, by the collective, which is a single eye that uses, it's like avatars, like the eye is uploaded into a different body, imprinted with different memories, has different reaction times, has different abilities, all this fucking shit that makes you a person. But when you pull all that away, when you look and see what you really are, there's an observer present of your life and your emotions. I mean, this is what the Eightfold Path is about. It's about getting you to understand that you're observing this thing happening and that you can alter your behavior by knowing, by consistently doing what you know to be the right thing. Like, I can't even talk about it, because again, words that I don't know are needed. Sorry, I think I found that paper. Dude, I think I found that other paper. Okay, remember that paper I was reading at the beginning? So, you may be sick or you may be healthy and use certain drugs as enhancers, but we should not hope for a doped up society either. We, in all honesty, already have that, even with the war on drugs. We seek the clarity to know and express our right as a living being to partake in the mysteries of life, if we so choose to do so. Our consciousness is our only personal experience we can alter at will, and with the aid of exercises and rituals. It's no accident anymore that people tend to prefer their reality on drugs to off of them. One doesn't need to be depressed or lost to find drugs effects not only appealing, but preferable to their normal state. Many drugs act as a shortcut to varying degrees of not only mental altered states, but mystical experiences. And so you will find the reason for taking a substance often lies in the actual experience of being on said drug. Again, that's a simple statement, yet it's the truth. And the truth is often less complicated than we like to imagine it is. But the experiences vary so wildly. It's hard to say a blanket statement of people do drugs because, yet we can with confidence say, the altered state provided by a drug is the reason a person would use said drug, even when it's hardly perceptible to others, as with NSAIDs like Tylenol and other pain and headache medicines. The removal of pain clearly the state the person seeks. Right. This might be... Okay, this is an entry I just found with that. It's from 11. 15. Like, all this is just varying throughout time and space. The spiral, I usually write that. That's to, so you know. Well, what does this make you think of, though? When you see a spiral, what do you think? I mean, this is on a lot of my writings. I do it, and that's often written there beside it. What is that? What do you think? You know what I mean? So, I'll ask you. How you feel about it? Anyway, the other page, too tinged with fever thought of previous entries, speak of my absence of self. No record keeping, no work at all. Some studies, including Moonchild, proved most curious. Still not performing magic rituals, adorations, beyond my established course of action. Mahatma Fang, being the most adored figure of the book, of course, is the most silent of characters. Beyond the light of his eyes, we know very little, though he seems to not only be the caretaker of the solar operation, but a figure very much of that order. Perhaps Gray's solar nature and the mention of Fang being Gray's old teacher link the two. Of right and left. One sees the two are of one mind. But as the Book of the Law says, and in my left hand I have crushed the universe and naught remains. Perhaps this ties with the inevitable destruction of the brothers of the left-hand path. As one makes efforts to walk the path, one can't help but see the absurdity and the awful truth of the duality of our reality. As it seems to be, on the one hand, you have good and evil, the interplay of light and dark forces which battle to obtain supremacy over the universe. During the actual act, any action, the choice made by each one of us, each moment we are presented with a choice, is said to determine whom is good and or bad. We act according to our nature, which is what we call good or bad. We are taught to lie and then told it's wrong. We are taught right from wrong, and even when we are gifted with an inner compass that tells us sometimes our parents and other authorities are wrong, so we have in us a sense of right or wrong, even contrary to or without training. It is this sense that I call upon to help back up this one hand. On the other hand, above and beyond all things, it seems all works together toward a common goal. Or all dances the same dance, while each hears their own tune. Or the verse of that. Some manage to hear similar melodies and work at it so others can hear. But I digress. Yeah, always. Behind all the veils of duality, there is but one. And down here we are bombarded with the effects we perceive. Yeah, I can't. We perceive as a prism upon water's surface. Light splits apart and dances through further and further into the dense fluid of mind. Sparkles of insight shine, while waves distort all images on the surface. So as below, above, as so above, below, below so as above, so below, above, below, as so, below, above, so as so above, so as below, above, as so below, so above, as below, so below, as above. I used to do that a lot. I used to pick a fucking phrase, something like that, and just rewrite, change the inflection and meaning. One of the first things I did when writing was I changed I to we as a battle, not a battle, the opposite of that, with my ego to whatever. That eventually turned into my subconscious writing, though. Like, it always, Now when I read that, I always know that it's... okay. There are no words. They would fracture the true meaning. There is an energy, though. An energy that begs to be articulated. Not because it wishes to be defined, but because its power wishes to crystallize, to find vessels in the kingdom. Many have felt this energy, yet few have been able to embrace it. There is a bond between us, and the bond is no separation. Ansoff, something which was nothing before everything. This coming together has brought me closer to myself. It has brought us closer to each other. The great winds are pleased. I thank all stars for what you help bring. Vision, art, love, sanity in an insane world. You filled my hollow with rivers of joy, and now my most inner cells are being weathered by its love. The energy that has been in limbo for so long, yet always with us. Each creation a child, laughing and growing with each day. You are not making a difference. You, me, us, them are beginning to make the change. I can feel it more now than ever. Love, energy, life. I want to pour my soul to you, for I feel I am overflowing. I know you won't waste a drop. The erosion your love rivers caused has left me as a new being, a vessel for the energy that has always been love. I wrote that after my first, the cosm, not the microcosm, but the chapel of Sacred Mirrors opening in New York on the 4th floor of Spirit. Because I was up all night. Me and my buddy Reggie talked to Allison before they even before the party really kicked off, and I remember telling her we just had a really great conversation, and I had told her something about, I think I must have said, do with that will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. She really liked that, and because they had all of these flags up there, and I think I might have mentioned, oh, that would be cool. And I was like, yeah, I'll write that down, whatever, and then we'll just stay afterwards and clean up, because I do cleanup crew at parties. I usually help set them up, start the fire and all that, and then when everybody passes out, because I don't really drink, but so when everybody passes out from alcohol, usually I clean up. I do cleanup or whatever. And I was like, dude, yeah, fuck paying some crew in New York to come do this. But my ride, Nick the Prick, love you, cousin. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to for some reason. And then I was just, I don't know, 20 at the time in New York. I don't know. Fear is the mind killer, guys. Just do stuff. Just become part of the community. There's no reason not to. It's just fucking stupid that I didn't stay and clean up, because sweeping one floor for one night could have changed the trajectory in a lot of different ways. Speaking of, life is suffering. Attachment is the cause of suffering. Ending attachment is the end of suffering. There is a way to end suffering. You must walk the eightfold path, wherein there is right view, right thought, right speech, right behavior, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. vessel must have the ability to die or opt out at any moment. Otherwise, one could become trapped forever, and if immortal or near so, the millennia would be unfathomably relentless, cruel. The so-called curse of death is a misunderstood tool used by consciousness. This awareness is the prime mover and host of all avatars in the system. Identity atop identity, awareness arises seeking itself in all things. Spirit, matter, pneuma, flesh. Soma to psyche, psyche to nous, nous to pneuma. The silence source gives the gift. Gift goes to the manifestation. The manifestation brings about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit brings about the Son of God, which is the nous. The Son of God descends into the Son of Man, where there's soul psyche level, and he rests within the body, persona. The nous, higher mind or spirit that receives the pneuma and transmits its... the nous receives the higher mind or spirit. The nous, the higher mind or spirit that receives the pneuma, Spirit of God, and transmit its fire and light to the other elements of the human complex. So, when you start talking about communication within your mind and subconscious, in and out, up and down, the goal is to get in touch with your higher self. You do this by going deep within yourself and dissolving your attachment to the idea of you as this thing. At that point, the observer moves to another position. Like, as long as you can push the observer, you move the mark. It will always retreat further and become more elusive, bigger, farther, better, faster. But you have to push it. You have to keep digging, okay? And that's, for me, that's what drugs have been. I get fucked up, and I write, and I draw. This is not a party, okay? I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not having fun, but the video I posted the other day of the girl who's all strung out and shit, that's why I don't... I don't know, man. I love the idea of gathering together and celebrating. But the fucking idea of... Like, I grew up in a party. Like, every day, every second, everywhere, everyone gets it. Let's get it. Let's flip it. Buy, sell, flip. Buy, sell, flip. Does more. Get that. Cut that. Cut it down. Cook it up. Split it up. And the whole time there's just people dropping like flies, getting sent to jail. And I'm like, wait. Thought we were building something here, like a community. Like, that's what it was like at first. Like, the amount of money and shit we had, it was like, dude, we can do fucking anything. We can buy all the fucking supplies we want. And for a while we did. There's drums and shit everywhere, just art and music, and then more and more of this shit. Chains